Welcome back to Code is Simple. I'm Peter Farber. This is part 3 of the programming tutorial for C++. Today we're going to do for loops. So let me just open up this and start a new project. It's tutorial 3-1. Okay, let's make a new file. Call it main.cpp. Alright, so like in every other thing, just include the basic stuff, the IO stream, and using namespace std for standard. Make the main function. We're just going to pause it at the end because we want to see all of our progress. Alright, so for loops. There's different ways that you can do for loops, but pretty much all you have to do is create an integer or any variable. So right now we're just going to create an integer I and set it as 0. And then we're going to, there's 3 parts of a for loop. There's the variable that you initialize in the beginning, which can only be used inside the for loop. And then there's the if statement to check whether the for loop keeps continuing. So we're just going to make that now. So if I is less than 10, and then we're going to say I plus equals 1. So every time it goes through, it's going to increment the I. So once I reaches 10, it's just going to stop because it's not less than 10 anymore. So there's different ways you can do I++, which means take I and increment it by 1. You could do plus equals 1. You could do I equals I plus 1. But just do I++. Alright, so now we're going to just see out our results, and we'll put spaces between them. And we'll just see out an end line so we don't see that crap. Give it a run. And you see that it goes up to 10. Wait, let me just change the default so it's, is there a way to, let's change it to 200. Alright, so yeah. Next is decrementing for loop. So that one was incrementing, but this time we're going to decrement. So we're going to set I equal to 10, I is greater than or equal to 0, I minus minus, which is the same thing as I++ but decrementing. Inside here we're going to do the same thing, but just showing you what the difference looks like. Let's put another end line. Let's give that a run. So this one was 0 through 9, this one's 10 through 0. We can make this one through 10 as well. Do equals. Yeah. Alright. With for loops you can also access like characters, because characters are represented as numeric values in C++, so you can do like int int I equals A. And if you A is I think 97, so when you do character A, it automatically replaces that with 97. So we can alright, and then we're gonna do I is less than Z, I++, and we'll do see out every letter that we get. Okay, this isn't going to work, but I just want to show you why it's not going to work. This is actually going to display numbers 97 through 122. The reason for that is because it's still an integer that we stored it as, and we want to display it as a character, so we have to typecast it. And the way to do that is just by this. I'll go into more detail about casting in later videos, but that's how you cast something back to whatever. Yeah. So it takes the number, numeric value, which is 97 for the first one, and it finds the character representation for that value and replaces it. So now we're going to have A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And for capitals, it's the same thing, except they're lower numbers, I think. I think the capitals come before the, we can check. Yeah, the capitals come right before the lowercase. Yep. There's also such thing as nested for loops, and with a nested for loop, we can create like a grid system in a way, I guess. So let's set equal to 0, x is less than, we'll make it a 10 by 10 grid, x plus plus. And inside this for loop, we're going to make another for loop y to represent the y-axis. And give it y is less than or equal to 10, y plus plus. And now inside of here, we're going to echo out just like something to make it look like a grid. So I guess we could do a 0. Yeah, that looks good. And then inside the x, for every time it finishes a line of them, we want to make it skip a new line so that it looks good. And then this should display sort of like a grid system, which did not, oh, it did work, except there wasn't an end line before it. So yeah, there's like a kind of decent looking grid system. You can make like a battleship game or something. I mean, we can make a game in a few videos from now. I'll teach you guys how to make like a basic maze game or something. But yeah, defaults. All right, let's just see if that yeah, that's a good position. All right. Well, that's it for this tutorial, because I only really have 10 minutes to do my tutorials. But in the next tutorial, I'm going to be doing while loops, showing you how to do random numbers, and we'll make kind of like a small game with it. It might take 2 tutorials, though, to do it. So, yep. See you guys soon.